Hope you had a great day. So, we're live once again. Yeah. So, I want you to do something for me. Kindly go and share this broadcast. Invite as many as you can to join us. Let them know that we are live. Invite as many as you can to join us. As many as you can. Invite them to join us. Let them know that we are live. Okay. So, just do that for me. Next thing. All right, thank you. I know you will. So I will. Hello, I hope you can hear me. I hope you can. I hope you can hear me. Please, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Am I loud enough? All right, thank you so much. And good evening, everybody. I hope you had a great day. Hope you had a wonderful day. Okay, I had a wonderful day too. I had a great day, and it's nice to be here once again. It's nice to be here once again. I always look forward to Fridays because I know every Friday um, I get to dine, I get to learn something new that will help me live a healthy and productive life. I don't know about you, but I do honestly. And today we're having a guest that will be joining us. We're having a guest who will be joining us live. Yes, we're having a guest who will join us live. But before I bring her up, let me tell you a little about her, right? Permit me to read her bio. Just a little about her, is not much. So, our guest is Christy Oderinde. Christy Oderinde, I call her Mom Christy though. Mom Christy Oderinde is a global health intelligence coach, speaker, author, and investor. She is a student physiotherapist at the prestigious Bowen University, Iwo, Osun State, Nigeria. She leverages digital tools for creative expressions and advocating for a healthier world. She is the author. She is the author of the Now That You Have a Skill, a book written to help young professionals gain clarity for a higher income and fulfillment. Christy is an ardent learner with certifications across health, business development, creative direction, and among others. Christie believes that the foundation for global stability and development rests heavily on ethical health practices, both on individual and societal levels. Sorry. Christie describes her work to be faith-driven, with her favorite quote being, "Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prospers." That's 3 John 1 verse 2. Right? Now, this verse just resonates with me because I know I think about this thing some days back. I spoke about this thing. I made mention of this verse specifically. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, I want you to help me welcome Mount Christie live. You're welcome, Ma.
Hi, good evening. Am I
Good evening,
audible enough,
Ma.
please?
Good evening. It's nice
Can
to
you hear
have
me
you.
clearly?
Yes, I can hear you
Thank
clearly.
you. Good.
Yes, I can hear
Oh,
you clearly.
great. Okay.
It's nice to have you.
All right. Uh,
Yeah, you're very audible. It's nice to have
can
you
I go
here.
ahead, please?
Yes, please go ahead. The floor is all
Okay.
yours, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Okay. Before we even start, first thing first, if you can hear me right now, please take your phone, whatever device you're using, and share this link to your friends, right? The people you love. They need to know about this. They need to come learn what we're about to learn tonight. So please take up the link and share it on your WhatsApp statuses, Instagram, wherever it is. Just do that. I would wait for a second. I'm going to do that here also. So please share the link. Please share the link if you've not. I'm just going to wait for 1 second before I start, or 1 minute. Okay, Vahrashee, I can you hear me? Is that am I audible enough? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You're audible. Please go ahead. Go ahead,
All
ma'am.
right, that's okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's get down to business. First of all, thank you very much, Mr. Vahrashee, for having me here tonight. I'm so glad to be here. And when I saw the topic, I just knew it's something I really want to discuss, right? Because it's something that people could fall into, right, without them even knowing consciously, right? So I'm very glad for what you're doing. the initiative of actually putting this together to get people to speak on different topics every week or every other week, it's beautiful, really, because everything is just happening fast in the world, in Nigeria especially, and people do not really take time to really care about their health. So having an initiative like this that would put people, give them a platform to come learn is a very beautiful one. And so I must say a very big well done for this. It's commendable. And to the past speakers, great topics they've all come to, deal with. And I would just be adding my own quota tonight. All right, so I believe that those who are listening to me have shared the link to their family members, their friends, their loved ones. So I'll just go ahead to start. Right, so the topic I'll be speaking on is dangers of sedentary living and how to slow down aging and live longer through physical activity and exercise. So this is actually two topics. So I'm going to break them down the way they are and start with them one after the other. So let's start with what's the dangers of sedentary living. I don't know, Mr. Vahrashee, is there a way for me to see comments from people? I would love to see comments. I would love this to be as conversational as possible. So if there is a way for that, please let me know. Hello, Mr. Vahrashee, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. There is a way that you can see comments. So once the comments, I'll put them up for you. There is a way you can see it.
All right, that's fine. Okay. All right,
Yes,
that's fine. Thank you very much.
you're
Okay, so
welcome.
I think my network is a little bad. I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, I'll just go ahead. Go ahead. I believe you can hear me. So the topic, dangers of sedentary living. I want this to be as practical as possible. I don't want to come and bombard us with medical jargons and English that would, get us carried away and lose the point. So I would love to know people's jobs, right? I would love you to introduce yourselves quickly. Your job is actually very important for this topic. So are you a secretary, an accountant, a banker, whatever job role you take up, you're an entrepreneur, you work from home totally, I would love to know, right? Because this is a very good place to start this topic from. So your job role, are you a student, an accountant, a secretary, a teacher, a banker, whatever role it is, I would love to drop it in comment section, right? And then we'd move from there. And I would also love you to comment what you think about sedentary living. What's your idea about the topic, right? What do you think? What, in simple terms, when you hear the word sedentary living, what comes to mind, right? It's important that we start from there so that we can kick off on a common ground, so to say. So I'll just wait for a minute and then I'll just run through. I just want people to be carried along before I get into what I want to do tonight. So what's your job role and what do you know about sedentary living? Any idea of what sedentary living means? In your own simple term, when you hear the word sedentary lifestyle, what comes to your mind, right? What's at the top of your mind when you hear the word? So I'll just wait for a minute and then I'll kick off as fast as I can. Oh, hi, Mr. Emmanuel. Good evening, sir. That name sounds familiar. I think I've heard it somewhere. Good evening, sir. So great to have you here. A medical practitioner. Okay, so all right, that's great. Oh, Mr. Vahrashee, a certified pharmacy technician. Okay, so I'll just move. More responses can come in while I continue, and then we can just deal with them. Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. Poor physical activity level. That's the simple explanation I would actually give to this. Poor physical activity level is as simple as that. So yes, I'll just kickstart from here. So the first thing I want to say is this: when people hear the word sedentary living, what would usually come to their mind is, I am not a lazy person, I work. Now, I want you to understand that you can be a worker, you can have a 9 to 5 job, you can be an entrepreneur and still be living a sedentary lifestyle. Okay, someone said the physiotherapy. Oh, okay. Oh, that's for me. Okay. So sedentary living does not necessarily mean that you're lazy. That's where we need to start off from. Let's start off from that place. So when they say you're living a sedentary lifestyle, it doesn't mean you're actually not doing anything. It is the level of what you're doing that is important in this scenario. So a lazy a person living a sedentary lifestyle can have a job, can be hardworking, and still be living a sedentary life. It's as simple as that. So let's try to paint a picture together and let's discuss this. So let's use a person. Let's say her name is Miss Joke. So Miss Joke goes to work. Miss Joke is a secretary. So let's assume Miss Joke does majority of her jobs sitting at the front desk, typing on the laptop, writing on notebooks. That's majorly what she does. Maybe helping her boss to book his appointments and all of that. Now, Miss Joke goes to work as early as 8 a.m. and she's at work from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. So let's assume that throughout the day, Ms. Joker is so engrossed in work. Now, don't forget I said you can be a worker and still live a sedentary lifestyle, right? So Ms. Joker is engrossed in work. She's typing all through the day. She's booking appointments. She's trying to do this, and this, right? It is possible that Ms. Joker forgets to even get up from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. right? So that means Miss Joke has sat down for 4 hours straight in the day. Now, she only gets up to, oh, she needs to use the toilet, she needs to urinate, she needs to poo or something. So in total, she only spends about 13 to 15 minutes, or let's even say max 30 minutes doing whatever she wants to do. Now she gets back, she rushes back again and say, I need to get busy. And she sits on her desk and she doesn't get up again from, say, let's even say 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. when she closes for the day. Now that means in total, we have said that Ms. Joke has sat down for a minimum of 8 hours in a day, right? So she has sat down for 8 hours. No, don't forget that she's actually working. That's where we need to get it right. She's still working, but she's doing this in a particular position. So what this means is, if this is the lifestyle of Ms. Joke every single day, that's okay. Now let's even try to go further and explain better. Ms. Joke has a car. So after she closes from work at 5, she drives home, sitting down in the car too, right? She drives home. Now she gets home and she's exhausted. Now I need to say this, that you can experience exhaustion and fatigue even when you are living a sedentary lifestyle. In fact, it is one thing that is very common, people who live sedentary lifestyles. So over time, they get easily tired, easily fatigued. So Ms. Joke even comes back home around, say, 6 p.m. and she's already exhausted for the day. She does not even have the time to do anything, right? She just, jumps into, okay, oh, yes, thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. I didn't get to read that through, but thank you. So Ms. Joke comes back, she's tired. Oh, she quickly goes to the freezer to pick up something and quickly warms it and she eats for the day. And then she, in her own way of relaxing, she gets on the couch and starts to watch TV. So she wants to just relax and chill out. So she watches TV from, let's say, 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. or 10:30 p.m. Now, Miss Joke is tired from watching TV. Then she gets up, goes to the room, and she sleeps off. Now, let's assume this is the daily routine that Miss Joke goes through every single day of the week. This is a clear example of a person living a sedentary lifestyle. Now, don't forget that I said she comes to work at 8 a.m. in the morning. She does not do any form of exercise when she gets up. In fact, she gets up 6 a.m. and she's trying to pray. As she's praying, she's trying to fix breakfast. She's trying to do this. She's trying to do that. Nothing really that is targeted towards physical activity in the sense, unless the normal thing of walking from her room to the sitting room or walking from sitting room to her car and then out to work. Now, this is a clear example of a person living a sedentary lifestyle. Oh, Coach CJ, good evening. Thank you so much. That's couch potato. That's the word, right? Couch potato. So now let's even give another example. Excuse me. So you're an entrepreneur. Good thing. You're a website developer. You code. You are a graphics designer. Whatever it is thank you so much, Coach CJ. Whatever it is you're doing. So you sit on your laptop in your house. right? You're working, you are a CEO, you are whatever title it is, you're working. But you know, entrepreneurs are the entrepreneur zone is even on a high level because they do not even have a start time and an end time, right? So they can wake up as early as 6 a.m. and based on the pressing need for the day, they can start to work as early as 6 a.m. and they do not even remember to get up until later in the day. Now, if this is done consecutively every single time, this is a clear example of a person who is, you know, exhibiting a sedentary lifestyle. So I've given two examples, someone who goes out of the house and someone who even sits at home and still goes through the sedentary lifestyle. Now let's move on. Some people, it's even so bad that some people do not mind, you know, they do not mind their cars driving them into their house. Just drive them into the compound and into the sitting room, and they just come out and then get into the bedroom and then like that. Now, one thing we need to understand is it is not a form of luxury when you do not move your body. I don't know how to explain this. You have helps around, you have people that you can call a maker, you can call this person, that person, get me this, get me that, and you're sitting on one spot, you're doing nothing, but you have money. That is not how to actually use your money. I must state this. So it is not a case of the more I get wealthy, the more I perform less duty. No, you're actually putting your health under pressure at that point. You still want to ensure that there is something that keeps you balanced. There has to be a balance between how you rest and how you work, right? So let's move on. So the main thing I'm going to be talking about today is dangers of sedentary living. You see, there are a lot of dangers. There are a lot of dangers, but I just said I brought about four that I would love to talk to us about today. So number one, obesity, right? This one is it cannot be overflogged, it cannot be over exaggerated, it cannot be overemphasized. Obesity is a major danger of sedentary living. You want to run away from it. I don't know how else to speak it, but you want to run as fast as you can, as far away as you can from obesity, right? So one thing in medical school, when they ask us what is a risk factor for a condition, even when we do not remember anything else to write, we usually would write obesity because a lot of times obesity is a risk factor for a lot of severe medical conditions. Talk about heart failure, talk about hypertension that could even go on to cause stroke. Obesity is one unifying risk factor that you can find for a lot of medical conditions. Now, this tells us something that you do not want to have anything to do with obesity. So what happens, what could cause obesity is, so for example, you're sitting down during the day, where you are eating your breakfast, you're eating your lunch, you're eating your dinner, you're eating everything there, you're taking in so much calories, right? And then you're not burning them, you're not taking them out. So there is this, you know, there is this imbalance, so to say, between the amount of calories you're taking in and the amount of calories that you're taking out, so to say, right? So for example, people who even work, for entrepreneurs, for example, or people who sit down to work for long hours, it's very easy for you to get carried away and you just quickly want to munch on a snack, right? And you're getting meat pie, you're getting chicken pie, you're licking ice cream. All these things, they already have the amount of calories they are contributing to your body. So this even means more reason why you should want to spend more time to do what would help you to at least burn some of those calories that you're taking in to live a balanced life. So obesity is one very common, risk factor. Now let's talk about how obesity can lead to other conditions. So for example, obesity can lead to hypertension. Excuse me, please. And then this would go on to lead to stroke. Stroke would go on to lead to so if you can hear me, please let me know.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you, ma'am. Please go on.
Can
I
you hear
can
me,
hear you.
please? I did not.
Yes,
Okay, thank you very much.
please go on. I can
Thank
hear
you.
you.
That's fine. Thank you. So people would there's one very common thing that people would say. It is easier to gain fat than to lose it, right? So you can even, you may be surprised that you gain 5 kg in say 10 to 14 days, and then it's taking you 2 to 3 months of constant physical activity to lose the 5 kg you gained in less than 3 weeks. It's like that. So the simple thing is, as much as you can, avoid even gaining those amounts of fat, right? So let's move on to talk about back pain and neck pain. So as a physiotherapist, this is where we have muscle, so to say, right? One area where we have muscle to flex. Back pain and neck pain. So you sit down for a long period of time. What happens when you're sitting for a long period of time is that you're compressing. Let me not use too much. You're compressing your spine. Let me keep it simple that way. So you're sitting down, you're compressing your spine. So that's why you notice that sometimes you sit down for a very long period of time and you get up and you're feeling pain at your low back. It is because you sat down for long. Most times it can be because of that only. So what do you want to do? You want to prevent it as much as possible. Sometimes you get up, you're feeling strain on your neck. Sometimes it can even be your shoulder, depending on the posture that you assumed while you were sitting down. This is another common thing. So when people come to the clinic and they tell us, oh, I've been having back pain or I've been having neck pain, one thing we usually ask you is, what's your profession? Because we understand that the kind of life you live has a very big role to play with how your body responds. So if you sit down for long and you come to meet me and you're telling me about back pain or you're telling me about knee pain, I can clearly tell you, without even doing maybe too many things, I can tell you that your sitting for long is also contributing, right? So what does that mean? You want to avoid sedentary living. It's as simple as that. So now let's go to talk about other joint pain. Now, this is not the back. Talk about the knee. Sometimes you get up and you're feeling like your knee, I don't know, you just feel this pain, this discomfort on your knee, or you're feeling it at your ankle joint. It could be at your hip joint, depending on how you sat down or how you assumed the position. So we've talked about obesity, we've talked about back pain and neck pain, we've talked about other joint pain. Another thing we want to talk about is swelling, right? So for example, you sit for long, you get up, you look at your legs, you need to pay attention to these things really. You look at your leg and you notice that your legs are looking swollen, your feet are looking swollen, right? This is one very common cause of. So when you do this over time, when this occurs over time, this would be the normal thing that you get to experience every single time. So this is why I tell you that as much as possible, you want to avoid sedentary living. It is not up for discussion. You want to run away from it as fast as you can, right? So we've talked about obesity, which can lead to other conditions such as heart failure, hypertension, leading to stroke, and other things like that. We've spoken about back pain and neck pain. We've spoken about other joint pain. We've spoken about, okay, let me talk a little about osteoporosis. So when you hear the word osteoporosis, in simple terms, it is weakening of the bones. It is weakening of the bones. Now, what happens when you perform physical activity over time? Your muscles are strengthened. You work on increasing the strength of your muscle. When your muscles are strengthened, they automatically strengthen the bones that are attached to them. So what this means is, if you're not subjecting yourself to activities that would help to strengthen your muscle, you are also not subjecting yourself to activities that will help to strengthen your bone or increase your bone density. And as you grow older, it is normal that your bone density reduces. So what you want to do is you want to keep it as balanced as possible. It is normal for it to reduce, but you have a role to play to keep it as balanced as possible over a period of time. All right, so I want to believe that I was able to explain that clearly. If you can still hear me, please let me know before I go on. Please let me know before I go on. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you. Okay, so one thing I also forgot to state, it is one problem for you to be sitting for long. It is another problem for you to be sitting wrongly. It is two different things now. So some people, they sit and they are slouching. I don't know if you can see me clearly, but some people slouch, they bend when they sit, they bend this way. This is already enough stress for your spine, and then you're sitting down on top of it for a long period of time. So as much as you want to ensure that you're doing major movements over the period of time. So let's go on. Enough of the dangers. Let's discuss the solution, right? This brings us to the second part of this topic, which is how to slow down aging and live longer through physical activity and exercise. So I have said a majority of the things when I was explaining dangers of sedentary living, but I will say them now again with more specificity, so to say. Now, one thing you want to consider, now this is very important. What you want to consider is lifestyle modification. I cannot tell you to leave your job, whatever it is you're doing that may be subjecting you. Now, notice that I've been using job as example because I don't want to talk about, some people actually do not do anything during the day and they live sedentary life. But I want to believe that most of us on this call, we have a job or we have something that we do to keep us busy. And that's why I am moving my attention towards job roles. I'm talking about, career from that angle, right? So now let's continue. One thing you want to consider is lifestyle modification. Like I was saying, I would not tell you to leave your job as a teacher or as a banker or as an accountant or as a secretary, whatever it is you do. I would not tell you to leave your job because I actually do not have another job to give to you, right? But what I can tell you is you can modify your lifestyle. Now, what does this mean? You want to intentionally, that's the word. When it comes to our health, intentionality is one word we cannot joke with. You want to be intentional about what you're doing. Now, this goes as far as you having to set alarms. This means you want to go on to set alarms to remind you to do whatever it is you want to do. So, for example, let's go back to using Ms. Joker, who was our first example now, right? So, Ms. Joker still is a secretary. Her job role hasn't changed. She still works as a secretary. One thing she wants to focus on now is how can I, thank you so much. Oh, Samuel, thank you very much. How can I still be a secretary and be able to live an healthy life? That's where we need to balance it. We're not saying leave your job. We are saying find a way to balance the two of them so that one is not impinging on the other. Because if you spend so much time working and you do not take care of your health, the money you're gathering, the money you're struggling to get, you would end up spending it on your health. So that's why we say as much as possible, balance the two. So Ms. Joker now, she's still a secretary. She still goes to work 8 a.m. How about Ms. Joker thinks of waking up 30 minutes earlier than the normal time she used to wake up so that she can do little exercises? I'm going to talk about exercises a lot better later on because this is one thing that most of us, we are very guilty. Even me myself, I am guilty with exercises sometimes, right? But we're going to discuss that together and find out we can find our way around it really. Now, so Ms. Joker can consider, okay, how about I used to wake up 6 a.m. How about I wake up 5 a.m. or I wake up 5:30 and take out time to do little stretches, little movements. Now, what are we trying to do? We are trying to compensate. That's the word. We're trying to compensate for our normal lifestyle now. Like I said, she has to continue with her job until she gets a better one that would afford her the opportunity to live an healthier life. But while she's still a secretary, what she can do is try to get activities into her lifestyle now. Okay, so I wake up 5 a.m. or I wake up 5:30 and I decide to do some exercises. Thankfully, we have a lot of apps now. Go to the Play Store. There are a lot of apps that will teach you how to move your body. There are some that can be done in form of dances. Some can be done in really working on your muscles, like really working on your muscles by exercising. You can work on these things. So Ms. Joker says, I'm waking up 30 minutes earlier and I'm going to do this, right? Now she gets to work. Ms. Joker says, okay, my work is supposed to start at 8 a.m., but I will not sit down on my chair to work until 9. What can I do while I am standing or while I am walking around? So she can, if she has a small laptop that is possible or a tablet or something, she can say, okay, I'm just going to work on these things while I'm moving around. If it is possible, I'm trying to create different scenarios. So depending on where you are and what works for you, you can apply these things. So Ms. Joker can say from 8 till 9, I will try not to sit on my chair for that period of time. At least if I can work while moving around, let me do those ones first. And know that when I sit down from 9 a.m., I have to focus on doing other activities that would not let me do them while I'm standing or while I'm walking. So now Miss Joke works from 9 till, let's say, 11. How about Miss Joke set another alarm at 11 a.m. that reminds her to take a 10 to 15 minutes break? Sometimes this thing cannot be 100% realistic, but as much as possible, if it keeps on coming up, she keeps on getting the alarm, somehow she may find a way to adjust, right? So she sets the alarm 11 a.m., get up and walk for 10 to 15 minutes. So Ms. Jacquet is walking for 10 to 15 minutes. She takes a break. Most times, this 10 to 15 minutes would not necessarily mean that we're not going to work for the rest of the day anymore, right? We just have to be considerate. Excuse me. Excuse me. So she takes, excuse me. So she takes 10 to 15 minutes break to walk around, and she comes back to her chair. So she works from 11:15 again till, let's say, 1:30. Another break, another alarm is ringing. Oh, Ms. Joke, take another break for 10 to 15 minutes. She does it again. This is trying to modify the lifestyle. Okay, now Ms. Joke is done at 5. She still drives home. How about Ms. Joke says, I would take a 10 to 15 minutes walk if I can after I get back home. If her compound is large enough, she can do that in her compound. She can do that in her sitting room if it's large enough, depending on how our space is. But what I'm trying to say is we have to find a way to include physical activity in what we do, so that we do not get to a point where we start to, we can't balance these things. It's a problem at that time, right? So you must be ready to compensate. Now let's talk a little about exercises. Excuse me. Now, the idea of exercise has been misconstrued. People have lost the real meaning of what exercise is. So when some people hear the word exercise, what comes to their mind is they are running on the treadmill for 30 minutes at a very high speed, or they're doing one very heavy work at that time. Right? So this is not always the case. Now, when we understand what exercise is, we would do it better. So exercise is physical activity, right? That is sort of graded, so to say. So your exercises are graded. So that means the intensity of exercises can be divided into, is it light? Is it moderate? Is it vigorous? So if you are a person who was struggling with sedentary living, you should understand that after this call, you cannot say you want to go and start doing one very serious, vigorous exercise. You will not finish. Even if you start, you will not finish. So what does this mean? You want to start from where you are. That is where when it comes to your health, you must be ready to set realistic goals. Don't deceive yourself. The fact that somebody is running 10 kilometers per day does not mean you want to go on with that amount of speed. How about you consider doing little exercises in your home? If you're not going to the gym, you can work on doing little exercises in your home, right? So exercises should not be misconstrued. When you get better, you can then increase the intensity. You increase the amount of time you spend. But the goal is that you should be able to incorporate physical activity in your daily living. Now, let's talk about how does this thing have an effect on how long I live, or how does exercises and physical activity have an effect on slowing down aging, right? When I was preparing for this session, I came across a very profound quote by a woman who said that, I'm going to try to read that. Dr. Linda said that exercise is the closest thing that we have found to be a magic pill for combating the effects of aging. Did you get that? Exercise is the closest thing we found to be a magic pill to slow down the effect of aging. So what this means is that there is even no drug that comes ahead of exercise when it comes to slowing down aging. This to tell you how important exercises are. right? It is the closest magic. When I saw this quote, I actually paused and okay, I had to take that in. Like really, I never thought of that, right? But this is it closest to a magic pill. That means you want to incorporate it as much as possible. Now, excuse me, exercise have a what I want to use a word. Exercise has an effect on every everything that makes up a person. Thank you for putting that up, Vahrashee. Exercise has effect on your cognitive ability, right? That's why they tell you sometimes that take 10 minutes to do little exercises in the morning, and then you just feel this, you feel different. You feel like you're more bubbly than you would normally be. This is the effect that exercise can have. Exercise has effect on our hormones. It has effect on our breathing. It has effect on our heart, right? It has effect on different areas of our body. So this means that we cannot we cannot leave it untouched. So when you're talking about slowing down aging, what that really means, now aging is a normal part of life. A person who is 60 is 60. The only thing that makes difference is that what is the person at 60 subjecting him or herself to. A person who is 30 can be more aged, so to say, in their body than a person who is 60, depending on what they subject themselves to. So we are not saying that we are trying to put an old to aging, which is not possible, but we're trying to slow down the rate, which is why they tell you involve your in put yourself into performing little exercises over time. Now, exercises also help to boost the body's immune system. Now, this is very profound. As we age, it is believed that the body's immune system reduces, so to say, or the effect decreases. So you want to use exercises to boost the body's immune system. Now, like I said earlier on, as you age, your body's immune system is subjected to diminishing, right? And this makes older people more prone to conditions. So what this means is, if I am 20 and I have somebody else who is 30, it means that my immune system at 20 is expected to be stronger than a person whose immune system who is 30, the immune system of a person who is 30. Now, what this means is, excuse me, the immune system, let me start by explaining this. Your immune system is what fights, in quotes, fights whatever it is that wants to harm you. So a virus is trying to enter into your body. If your immune system is strong enough, it can fight it. If there is an antibody that is trying, if there is a foreign body that is trying to work, your immune system can fight it. Now, what this means is at 20, my immune system can prevent me from having a lot of conditions than a person who is 30. That is what is believed. So what this means is, as you're growing older, you want to make sure that you are ensuring that your immune system remains boosted. So that is where you take in exercises and physical activities as something to consider, right? So I've spoken about two major things that I would really love to share, which I have shared, which is the effect that exercise has on different areas of your body. Talk about your mind, talk about your cognitive ability, talk about your hormones and all of that, right? And then we've spoken about your immune system. So I'm going to run through, this is where I would love to end tonight, but I'm going to run through from beginning again to just make sure that the points were gotten. Now, some of the dangers of sedentary living that I mentioned were obesity, right? I talked about the fact that people, they take in so much fat and they do not burn them. So there is an imbalance. There's an imbalance. And okay, so now let's do something. I'm going to be using my own details to do this. So there is something called BMI. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong. There's something called BMI. In full, it is your body mass index. This can give you an idea of how much fat level, so to say, that you have as a person. Now, the simple formula to calculate this is your weight divided by your height. So your weight in kilogram divided by your height in meters. So now, for me, okay, let's say I'm weighing 62 kg, right? And my height is 1.6 meters. So I'm going to square 1.6. I want everybody to do this. If you can, if you do not know your height and your weight, you can do this later. But it is very, very important that you know what your height is and you know what your weight is per time. Your weight is even the important thing, because most times your height is usually constant when you get to a particular age, but your weight can change over time. So now you're going to get your weight in kilogram divided by your height squared. So for example, my height is 1.6 meters. I'm going to have to square that. Now we are going to divide. It's going to be 62 now, for example, divided by 1.6 times 1.6. Whatever value you get gives you an idea of, are you are you do you have a normal weight? So what will usually happen is, any BMI that is lesser than 18 tells you that you're underweight, and that's also a problem, right? We should not just focus on overweight only and leave underweight like that. So if your BMI is lesser than 18, that means you're underweight. If it is anything from 18 to 24.5, then you're considered to have a normal BMI. Anything from 24.9 to 30 means you are overweight, and anything above 30 means that you are obese. So everybody needs to have an idea of what their BMI is at different time, right? So I'm going to leave that. That's an assignment I would love everybody to do. Please calculate your BMI. If you can do it on this call, no problem. If you can do it later, please go ahead. Now, back and neck pain, another thing I spoke about. It is one thing to be sitting down. It is another thing to be sitting down wrongly. Sitting down for long, or thank you so much. Sitting down for long already exposes you to, you know, pain, your back, your neck, and then slouching. So people sit down like this. Oh my God, it's so bad. It's really so bad. Some people sit wrongly. We can't even start that one on this call. It's a different topic entirely, right? So you want to take care of your back and your neck. You could also feel strains on your shoulders, like I said, other joints in your body, your knee, your ankle, right? And I also spoke about swelling. You could experience swelling on your feet. Now, you notice that when you experience swelling, thank you so much, Vahrashee. Thank you so much. When you experience swelling, right, when you walk around for a period of time, if you're observant enough to even know when you have swelling, when you walk around, you notice that the swelling reduces, because what is really causing the swelling? It is accumulation of fluid. When you walk, your muscles are contracting. When your muscles are contracting, they help to move fluid from the lower part of your body upwards. But when you're sitting, all the fluids are draining down. So you're experiencing swelling on your feet. But when you take out time to walk, you take a 10-minute walk, you take a 15-minute walk, you notice that the fluid has reduced because your muscles have contracted and they've helped to move the fluid up again. So that's some of the dangers that we spoke about. And for, again, which is very important, and I say this again, for you to deal with sedentary lifestyle, you need to consider lifestyle modification depending on what you are exposed to. So if your work is what keeps you that way, you want to work on it. Okay, I think I'll just stop here and wait for any question. Thank you very much, Mr. Vahrashee.
Yeah, I'm clapping. I'm clapping. Thank you so much. That was awesome. That was how I wish you could just continue. Honestly, I wish you
Thank
could just go on and on, because I'll just I'm learning. Not that some of these things are totally new to me, but I'm seeing them from another different light, right? So yeah, thank you so much. Most of the time, people do give excuses that I don't have to do exercise, I don't have the time to do exercise, I don't have time to do this, I don't have time to do this. But I used to tell people that even dancing is exercise. Get time to dance. Like wake up in the morning, if you cannot run, you can dance. Shake your body till you sweat.
you.
You can jump. You can
Mm-hmm,
run.
mm-hmm, sure,
You can walk. You have. There are many things to use and to exercise
sure.
with. Right. The aim is to get the blood circulating. So thank you so much. Like the way you just explained it and the story. What's that woman's name? Thank you
Miss Jack.
so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I
Thank
mean,
you
it's
so
an
much.
amazing session with you. I would love to do this again. Like, I would love to do this again. Like, I think I'm going to bring
Thank
you
you very
back.
much.
Someone is agreeing with me. Very true. Thank you so much. Yes, you see, I didn't care. Very true. So we can resonate with all everything you say. I mean, everything you've said is just is the reality of what we are in right now. And when I I got this topic, I was not like, now this is it. And yesterday I made a post. I made a picture of with a picture of one man, a story of
Yeah,
about
I saw it.
John. You said
I
that,
saw it.
right?
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
because I just love how you explain everything because sedentary living is not like you're lazy. No, you may be hardworking, but you may be living a sedentary life. But you don't mind what you
True.
eat, don't take care of
Yes.
yourself, now you're
Mm-hmm.
putting yourself in danger because with time, it accumulates over time. All these things they accumulate over time, and then by the
Yeah.
time from our story of John yesterday, by the time John got to the hospital, he was not so like, how did we get here, right? And
Mm-hmm.
funny enough, there are underlying diseases that like let's for instance when you're obese, you know that you are at high risk of hypertension and diabetes.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
you
True.
know, when you're fit, your immune system is active, and you
True.
just fight off diseases. I used to tell people that I'm not bragging, but I can't recall when last I was sick. If you see me, I'm complaining that it's maybe I've overworked myself and I'm stressed because I tried as much as possible to stay fit. At least the economy is hard, right? Spending money on medication, money that you're supposed to use for something important, you're spending on drugs. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
I don't lack words to say. You just hit the nail on the head. So thank you
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Really, really over
Thank
delivered, although I was expecting it. But the fact that Coach CJ recommended you, I said no, this one I need no other evidence, I need no other proof. And when
thank
I actually checked your wall and I saw the amazing things you were doing. I was not like, wow, I made the right choice. I went through your wall, no worry. So thank you so much. There's no
you
question
so much.
currently here. It
Okay.
seems you did justice to this. But in case you're streaming, you're watching us after this live, and you have a question, kindly drop it in the comment section. We'll still attempt it. I'll reach out and we'll definitely answer your questions on based on everything that has been said. So thank you so much. And one more thing before I go,
Thank you
I
so
will really, really recommend that you follow Mom Christy on all her social media. She's on Facebook, she's on Instagram. Yes. I don't know. Let me see if I can get your links so that I can post it so that they can follow you. I know on Facebook you are don't mind me, I'm typing. On Facebook you're yeah, I know we're Facebook friends, so you're oh okay, 1 minute. So yes, that is it. So you can start bringing your appreciations, bring your appreciations, yes, I'll put them up. So I know on Facebook this is her
thank
Facebook name, this is her Facebook name. So you can
yes,
check her
that's
out
correct.
on Facebook. I think on Instagram is healthy
Healthy Christy. Yes.
health with Christy. Something search for your name to it will show your username will show, right? And I know you're on LinkedIn. You're on
Uh,
LinkedIn too, right?
yes, I am. Christy
Yes.
already.
So you can check her out and see the amazing things she's doing. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot
Thank
to learn. Now let me give you a breaking news. I've never told anybody about it, but I'm actually considering going by the line of physiotherapy. I'm trying to run away from pharmacy. Yeah, I'm just kidding. But there's a lot actually. So thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much. I mean, you
thank
just
you so much.
captured how I'm just wow. I was just smiling all through the session. Ah, yes. So
Thank you
follow
very
me.
much.
A lot of learning. Thank you so much,
Thank,
ma. Thank you. I'm really, really grateful. Thank you for agreeing to
thank
do this with me. Thank you, everyone, that joined
Thank
us.
you.
I cite you, Coach CJ, Mr. Adeleke Ayomide. I'll try to mention your name. Mr. Opeyemi Adeshina, Mr. Opololo Samuel, sorry if I'm other name, Mr. Emmanuel Oladejo, Mr. Vahrashee Shapuma. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for staying with us. And I believe you learned something. And by God's grace, I think I'll try to bring Mount Christie again and talk about, because well,
Thank you.
I'm saying it
Thank
now. I'm
you.
saying it now. But thank you so much, Ma. It's a really
Thank you
a
very
wonderful time with you, and we got a lot of value. So thank you so much. You did a job well done. I'll therefore see you like, coach, thank you for that recommendation. You did a job
Thank
well
you
done.
very
Thank
much.
you so much,
Thank
Ma.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you so much.
that is that with our health talk for today with Vahrashee. You can tune in every Friday, because the Friday will not pass, I will not have a health talk. That's just the truth. Yes, and we bring different health professionals on board who will join us and share their knowledge with us, right? Share knowledge on how to live a healthy and productive life. That is what we do at Health of Vahrashee. The aim is to help you live healthy and productive, right? So thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can see for those that, yes, you can see that my channel I'm having 11 followers, 11 subscribers. Yes, and there's a lot to learn actually. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you're streaming on Facebook, don't forget to follow me, and so that you get updated about the health of preparation. Every Friday, 8:30, I'll be live. By God willing, by the grace of God. Right? Devil is a liar, although we face some challenges, network and all that. But thank God for the network was so smooth and everything went down well. So thank you so much. Thank you. Please, in case you have any question, don't forget to drop it in the comment section. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste. Let me see. Yeah, they say Vahrashee sound like an Indian name, so namaste. Thank you so much for joining, and see you on Friday.